Trey had questions about what he should have out today, so let me be very specific and help you. I thought that I will help anyway. Do you have out your blue sheet? Obviously, we filled in one side, we're filling in the other. Do you have out your special right triangle notes? We filled in the front half last week. We were skipping 3 examples on the back side. Basically, what I'm telling you is everything we did last week, you still need out this week. Because everything we did last week, we only did half of it. So today and tomorrow, we're going to do the other half of it. That's why Sawyer's not surprised to read that. Can I steal that from you? Tomorrow, I'll help Sawyer fill the rest of this in. So Sawyer's not surprised to find out that tomorrow, he's going to need to turn in, maybe that. At the end of class, he's going to turn in, it has 45, 45, 90 problems on the front, 30, 60, 90s on the bottom, and then it has a mix on the back. This is going to be one thing to do at the end of class tomorrow. The other thing to do at the end of class tomorrow is the coloring page. Does someone have it so I can put it in my hand? Coloring page.
This one?
That's the one. This one. So Isaac's already done half of it, like I asked you to. He already did the 45, 45, 90 half. He only has to do the 30, 60, 90 half left. That's all he has left. If yours is still completely blank, you're in trouble. Because when I say due at the end of class tomorrow, as in when it's not in the bucket, unless you were absent last week, the absent people understand. If I saw your face last week and your stuff is still late, then I get to take off because you're driving me crazy turning in late things. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. If you think college is going to be cool with this, they're not. You got to get over it. Do something different with your life, please. Okay. So, we need to go over these bell ringers, and then we've got to take some notes. If you want to have out colors as well, that'd be great with me. You're driving me crazy. Okay, so on the bell ringer, I'm needing 2 things that add to give me a positive 8 and multiply to give me a negative 20. Okay, so negative 2 and 10 definitely multiply to give me negative 20. 10 minus 2 is 8, so she is right. So my factors are x minus 2 because it's a negative 2. And x plus 10 because it's positive 10. We're about to get evicted and all moved around because we're bothering me. All 3. Okay, I'm going to put this problem equal to 0. And the reason is because the reason we're practicing these bell ringers with factoring is because you keep blowing it on the interim test with the ACT Aspire. So what happens is Alex is given multiple choice options, which he thinks he likes, until he starts looking at them and they all look super similar. What if I had 2, 10, negative 2, negative 10, negative 2, positive 10, positive 2, negative 10? Heck, those look all exactly alike, just with different signs. So which answer should Alex choose if he had a multiple choice question like this? I am afraid that's what keeps happening to you. You want to pick B because we did a negative 2 and a positive 10, but that's not the right answer. What is the right answer? D. We actually take each term and set it equal to 0. So we'll do x minus 2 equal to 0. We'll get x equals positive 2. We'll do x plus 10 equals 0. We'll get x equals negative 10. So the answer is actually D. Now, Isaac now understands it's the opposite sign. So does Isaac have to show this part? No. But if you're tempted to pick B, you might want to keep writing this part out because that's what keeps happening and that's what you keep blowing. Lord help us. Okay, and then I'm mad at Katie's group specifically for this second bell ringer question today. What is, please don't take this the wrong way, I'm sorry, the dumbest answer to choose from this list of options?
Equiangular.
Equiangular is the dumbest answer, agreed. What would be another silly answer to choose? Right, just because it looks like a right triangle doesn't mean it is a right triangle. How can we decide whether or not it is a right triangle? Okay, there's no box, but also what do triangles add up to? Okay, so the two angles are 82, so I'm going to do 180 minus 82. What number do you get?
98.
Okay, so what letter was I supposed to pick? C. I was supposed to pick obtuse. But even if I'm just guessing, I'm smart enough to realize 57, 25, that's not 90, so the missing angle's not 90. Clearly, they're not all the same number, so it's not equiangular. So I was always guessing A or C to begin with. Oh my Lord, if you missed this one, I'm pretty sure you're not doing well in my class. Like, I'm pretty positive everyone in the room can do this one. If you didn't do this one and you got it wrong, you're being lazy on Monday, and I need you to chill out. Actually, I need you opposite to chill out. I need you to do more work. Okay, blue sheet. The last week, all we did was 45, 45, 90 on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Today and tomorrow, we're doing 30, 60, 90. I'm tired of saying numbers out loud. These things are called, because they all have the 90, both sets are called special right triangles. That's why behind Addison's head, the two black things say special right triangles worksheet, special right triangles coloring page, because when you put 45, 45, 90s and 30, 60, 90s on the same assessment, it's called special right triangles. Why do you think 30, 60, 90s are going to be more difficult than 45, 45, 90s? So 30 and 60 don't match, but 45 and 45 did. We had two matching legs before. We don't now. Okay, what are we calling this thing across from the right angle? Okay, this week I've gotten lazy, and I don't have time to put HYT, so I'm just going to start putting H. Just H. Okay, what were we calling the other pieces? Okay, but are they the same? No, so they need to each have their own name this week. So the one that's across from the 30, the smaller one, I'm going to call it the short leg. But I'm not going to spell it all the way out from now on. I'm just going to put SL for short leg. So if you had to guess, what am I going to name the other leg?
Long leg.
Okay, so long leg, and I'm going to call that LL. Okay, so you should already be a little concerned because we're opening up a whole can of worms. Because now if we're given the short leg, we have to solve for the other two. If we're given the long leg, we have to solve for the other two. If we're given the hypotenuse, we have to solve. That sounds like a lot more formulas than last week. Last week we were either multiplying by the square root of 2 or we were dividing by the square root of 2. That was it. This week we're making life a little more complicated. Okay, so I say that, and I swear if you're given the short leg, life's good. So we're going to discuss that first. If given the short leg. If you're given the short leg, what do we need to solve for? We need to solve for the hypotenuse and the long leg. One of these is super easy, and it's actually the hypotenuse. You take your number on the short leg, and you double it, so you multiply times 2. If you're given your long leg, you take your short leg, and you multiply by the square root of 3. So now there's a potential for an issue. If Addison really didn't have down what we were doing last week, she's suddenly going to start doing square root of 2's with the wrong set of problems. So let's go with 45, 45, 90s. And square root of 3 goes with 30, 60, 90s. So you can see how that could potentially be an issue for us, hence why we got to do another check for it. Okay, I'm going to stop right here for a second. Looking down at the 4 problems below, which problems were we given the short leg? 1 and 2. So if you're not sure how we're figuring this out, again, the short leg's always across from the 30. So if you want to fill in your missing angles, you can. And if Alex is really trying to get some points out of me, if he knows, like, I just want to make sure I'm getting some points out of Miss Compton, the first thing I would do is label everybody. Short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. Short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. I can definitely give Alex some points for this. He at least knows the different parts of the triangle. Okay, so Alex was given the short leg. He needs to solve for the hypotenuse. What is he going to do? He is. So I'm actually going to do the second one first. It's easier. So given the short leg, he needs to solve for the hypotenuse. He's going to multiply by the square root of 2. What is on the short leg in the second example? 7. So we're going to do 7 times 2. So what is Alex's final answer? 14. So the hypotenuse is 14. Okay, but Alex is not done. He also has to solve for the long leg. He takes his short leg, which is 7, and he multiplies by the square root of 3. And what's his final answer? 7 square roots of 3. Thank God no one said anything about 21. Okay, are there any questions about this? Again, he doubled it to get the hypotenuse. He multiplied by the square root of 3 to get the long leg. Does Alex actually have to show all this formula stuff once he starts figuring it out? No. But if Alex is afraid he's going to mess it up, is that something he wants to show? Yes. And I saw some of the deer in the headlight looks when I said that we were doing square root of 3 and last week was square root of 2. You want to take the 5-point hit and use your blue sheet on the test if you're worried about it. Okay, let's go to the other one. We were given the short leg. We need to find the hypotenuse. So I take my short leg and I multiply by 2. What is my short leg? Okay, so 4 square roots of 2 times 2. What do I end up getting? Say what?
I did the wrong thing.
Yeah, okay. It's 4 times 2, which is 8. 8 square roots of 2. There's no one else under the radical. So I do 4 times 2. I get 8. Square root of 2 has no one to multiply with. It's 8 square roots of 2. I know what Danny did. I don't know what anyone else was doing if you didn't get that.
Yeah, my bad.
I know what you did, but it's okay. Okay, we also need to find the long leg. So we take our short leg and we multiply by the square root of 3. So 4 square roots of 2 times the square root of 3. What do we end up getting? 4 square roots of 6. Again, we multiply the 2 and the 3 because they're both under the radical. So my final answer is 4 square roots of 6. Okay, are there any questions about this? Well, I told you we were going to look at the special right triangles notes. We haven't done 5, 6, or 7. Are there any of those problems that we can do now? We can do 5. And are there any others? I'm going to do 7 first. It's easier. Okay, so how she figured that out, again, the short leg is across from the 30. She knew that was the short leg. This is last week. It says special rights on the top. I still see people flipping. I'll give you a second. Oh. But she's right. We're going to do 5 and we're going to do 7. Okay, so on 7, I'm given the short leg. And I'm sorry that y'all are my smartest class in geometry. That tries the hardest at least. Not aphist smart, but needy. You're not needy. Well, you know what you are. I'm not going to talk about you on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to let it go. Somebody help me. Get me out of this mess. What are the answers is what my whole point was. I'm not even going to show work. What are the answers? Okay. Okay, again, to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, you double it. So he did 8 times 2 and he got 16. Because he needed the hypotenuse, and it was supposed to be, I lied, I'm going to write it anyway, short leg times 2, so he did 8 times 2, which is how he got 16. For the long leg, you take your short leg and multiply by the square root of 3, so he did 8 times square roots of 3, and he got 8 square roots of 3. Are there any questions about that? Why did I do 7 before I did 5? 5 does have a fraction. Okay, so I'm going to do 5 now, and it has a fraction. It seems scary, but everything, I swear, is going to turn out just pretty because the math teacher made it that way. if there's one on the test, it's going to be especially difficult. I will try to give you a heads up. I swear 5 looks hard, and it's not as hard as it looks. Okay, so going up to 5. We're given the short leg. Again, I'm not labeling as well as I should. If Alex is trying to get some pity points out of me, which is definitely very possible if he just stinking labels this triangle. Short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. He's given the short leg. He needs to solve for the hypotenuse. So he's going to multiply by 2. So he's going to take 4 square roots of 3 divided by 3 and multiply by 2. What does he end up getting? Does anyone know? Yes. So you multiply straight across. 4 times 2 is 8. It's 8 square roots of 3. 3 times 1 is 3. It ends up being 8 square roots of 3 divided by 3. Let me say that again. We're multiplying by 2, which is the same thing as 2 over 1. So in the numerator, I did 4 times 2. I got 8. Square root of 3 just came on down. 3 times 1, I got 3. So 8 square roots of 3 divided by 3. That was for the hypotenuse. He still has to solve for the long leg. It's the short leg times square root of 3. So he's got to do 4 square roots of 3 divided by 3 and multiply by square root of 3. What ends up happening with the long leg? Tell me the in-between. Say it again. What do we normally do? What do you normally do? You do know. What are we supposed to do? Multiply across on the top. What should I have? 4 what? 4 square roots of 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. She did 3 times 3. She got 9. She multiplied the numbers under the radical together. It's still all divided by 3. Is Danny done?
No.
Why is Danny not done?
Because mine is perfect square.
She knows the square root of 9. What is the square root of 9?
3.
What is 4 times 3? So she actually has 12 over 3, which is 4. Now she's done. If Alex is going for the straight up 100, of course he's going to do all this. If Alex is just going for, let's say, like the 95, then if he just shows me the formula and stinking quits right there, he probably gets like a 95. He at least knew who went with where. If he's really trying to get all his points, he's going to keep solving. But let's face it, if Alex doesn't try to solve on multiple problems, let's say he skips 10, well then he's missed out on 5 points per question. That's 50 points. See, he can't play that kind of game. He's going to try, but he's going to get most of his points for doing this. Okay, why can I not do 6 right now? What do they give you? And we haven't talked about how to do that. So if we're not given the short leg, we got to go back to our handout. Okay, so we talked about what to do if you're given the short leg. If you're given the short leg, life is good. Now we get to the trickier ones. And I'm going to call these two if not given short leg. Okay, this sounds crazy, but this always works. And then, so potentially I could overwhelm you with 6 formulas. I'm not going to do that. Here's what I do. If I'm not given the short leg, my new goal is to get the short leg. If I can figure out the short leg, I know what to do. So my new goal is to figure out the short leg. So I need to know the short leg if I'm given the hypotenuse. I need to be able to figure out the short leg if I'm given the long leg. So if I'm given the hypotenuse, instead of multiplying by 2, I'm going to divide by 2. Are there any examples on our white paper or on our blue paper where we're given the hypotenuse? Which one? Don't say it again, Danny. Okay, 3 on the blue paper. So hypotenuse, short leg, long leg. She's right. We're given the hypotenuse. Now, Grant can write all this out, but I don't care if Grant just does math in his head. He knows 20 divided by 2 is 10. I don't care if he puts 10 square roots of 3, just like that. That's what the answer is. But if he actually wants to write it out, short leg is the hypotenuse, which is 20, divided by 2. So he gets 10, so the short leg is 10. And then for the long leg, he takes his short leg, which was 10, and he multiplies with square roots of 3, so he gets 10 square roots of 3. I understand. But heck, if Grant doesn't write any of this down, and he just goes, divided by 2 is the short leg, add on a square root of 3, I got the long leg. That's fine with me. So if it was 40, it'd be 40, 20, 20 square roots of 3. If it was 100, it'd be 150, 50 square roots of 3. If it was 11, it'd be 5.5, 5.5 square roots of 3. But I'd rather see 11 over 2. That's just me being picky. Again, I get there's a pattern. If you see it, do you actually have to show all your math work? No. No, 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 no. So then you're like, Miss Compton, why did you say today was harder? I understood what you were doing last week. So far, so good. If I'm given the short leg, life's good. If I'm given the hypotenuse, I get back to the short leg super fast. So, of course, this is going to be the only tricky one today. It's what happens when I'm given the long leg and I need to find the short leg. So what do you think I'm going to put? It makes perfect sense. That's exactly what I'm going to put. It made sense. We were multiplying by the square root of 3 to get the long leg. So to go back to the short leg, we divide by the square root of 3. But as a reminder, you know I can't leave my answer like this. We're not allowed to have that square root in the bottom. That's the only reason this case is hard, is because there's potential Danny has to do extra work to get rid of that square root of 3. Well, I think so, but not everyone does. Okay, are there any problems on the white paper or on the blue sheet that we can do now? On the blue sheet, I can do number 4. Not number 4, he said. Yes, number 4. Not number 4. I can do number 4. Is there any I can do on the white sheet? Okay, so let's do the blue sheet one, and then we'll do the white sheet one. So we're given the long leg, and how do you know that, Miss Compton? Because it's across from the 60. So I've got the short leg, the long leg, and the hypotenuse. This one is by far the hardest one, so if you want to put a star by it, go for it. This one is the hard one. If we're going to have a hard, this one's it. I don't think I left myself enough room, and I also accidentally misspelled hard there for a second. I put had, not hard. Okay, so I'm given the long leg. I need the short leg. I'm supposed to take my long leg and divide by the square root of 3. What do I do next? Because I can't leave my answer like that. But last week we were multiplying by the square root of 2. Why are we multiplying by the square root of 3 this week? Because 3 is in the bottom. Yes, exactly. So I multiply straight across and I end up getting what? Oh, tell me the step before that, smart one, please. Okay, square root of 9. So 3 times 3 is 9. And of course, Toby's already gone ahead and helped us out. We know what the square root of 9 is. So it's 12 square roots of 3 over 3. Because the square root of 9 is 3. What's going to happen is right here, Katie's not going to put 3. Let me see. I wish I could zoom in even more. I don't know if I can. Zoom in as far as I can. What's going to happen right here? Square root of 9 is 3. But Katie really wants it to be square root of 3. So she's going to put square root of 3. She's going to cancel people out. And that's not how math works. So she was working so hard, and she got a little excited. The square root of 9 is not square root of 3. Square root of 9 is just 3. Okay, what should Katie's final answer be?
4 square roots of 3.
Yeah, because 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 square roots of 3. So Katie did all this work. She got the short leg. She can't forget to solve for that hypotenuse. What's her answer for the hypotenuse?
8 square roots of 3.
Because you double it. So she's doing this times 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 square roots of 3. Okay, this one is harder than the next one we're about to do. this one is as hard as it gets. And all we're doing that makes it hard is we're rationalizing the denominator. Okay, we still have to do example 6. They gave me the long leg. I need the short leg. I need the hypotenuse. So I'll fill in the 60. Okay, and then Alex faces this issue on the test, because I really hadn't put that much thought into it. All the time we've been doing just 45, 45, 90s, just 30, 60, 90s. I'm afraid he's going to squish the two worlds on the test. But, oh my goodness, hopefully he won't do that. That is my name.
I'm confused because you just like simplified that one, but you didn't do it on this one. You just left it with 8 and 3 at the bottom.
I did. I like that fraction. If it was 8 over 4, I would say 2 squared roots of 3. But 8 divided by 3, they don't go into each other. 3 doesn't get divided evenly into 8. I guess you could give me a decimal, but have I really wanted decimals lately? So I dropped it like that. That's a good question. Okay, so on example 6, I need to figure out the short leg. I take my long leg and I do what with it? Oh, tell me, Toby, no more talking. You're out. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Someone other than Toby, because he knows what he's doing. Toby, do your other worksheets. You're good. What am I supposed to do? Not you either. Find something else to do. What am I supposed to do? Okay, so now do I need to rationalize and multiply everybody by the square root of 3? Why is this problem easier?
Because the 3's cancel out each other.
Oh, this cancels out. And so the short leg is just 4. And then what does that make the hypotenuse? 8, because 4 times 2 is 8. So man, life would be so easy if only the problems were like this. But they're not always. Okay, are there any questions about any of these? I will help you fill in your maze tomorrow so I can talk about it again to myself. But you have a test on all this junk on Thursday, so you need to get your